like, are you fucking shitting me?
Right.
Like, really? That's what it means? In the ear?
Yes,
So it's just a switch. It'll do itself.
Will it?
Yeah, it'll do itself now. Yo, what is up, you guys? Alchemist Ganjier here for another episode of Enki's Canacult. Welcome, you guys. Sorry, dealing with some technical difficulties. In fact, I even actively hear one right now that you guys are probably going to end up having to deal with. So just one brief second.
The music's not cutting down, is it?
No, it is, but the through beat, go down to the taskbar. Taskbar, there you go. The taskbar, go down to the sound over in the right corner.
Can they still hear us?
And then pull it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could tell jokes. Did you guys hear the joke about the paper?
No, I mean,
It doesn't matter because it was terrible.
Oh, Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah. Sorry about that. Like all kinds of technical difficulties abounding. But yes. And I am here today with a return guest, Ian Hill, Garrett Farms. He has decided to bless me today with his presence. I was messing around, coming up with absolutely nothing for the podcast today, and he was like, "Hey, why don't we sesh? I've got some awesome hash." And I said, "Say less. Let's smoke some hash." Yeah, how are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty awesome. That is a spiffy haircut you got going.
Yeah,
on there.
I fucked up. I this is the summer haircut, and I still have the winter beard, and I did not get it quite trimmed down the way that it should. So there's like this crazy, like, weird Native American line going through my head.
It looks
very shadowy.
it looks like you went to a barber.
I definitely went to a barber. He definitely gave me exactly what I asked for. It's just that's the military thing that I would normally ask for, and the military doesn't have the beard, so I didn't really take that into account. So I need to like cut half of it off. But
it reminds me. I was trying to think earlier, like who it reminded me of, but and it struck me that that movie about the dragons with Christian Bale that came out in like the mid 2000s. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Aragon? No, it was Aragon.
It might have been Aragon, but it was like a modern day thing where the dragons were like we're in this underground thing, and people in the UK drilling like accidentally
Godzilla?
like released them. And no, these were like wyvern like type dragons, but then they had like full scale like, you know, mythical like English.
No, I feel like I vaguely remember something like this
because like his last scene in the movie.
But
is
at the
him,
same
like,
time, I don't remember Christian Bale at all. So like, I feel like that's another one of those.
And he has a really short cut,
Sinbad.
but then he's got this like rockin' beard. Like he does not look like he does in his other movies, like at all.
Yeah.
Like but like he's got this like epic scene, like his last scene before he gets like, you know, unlived. Yeah, what up, guys?
Sinbad was definitely in Shazam, by the way.
Yeah. No,
Kazam, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's a whole.
Sorry, he's not here tonight. Did the cut.
Now, did the what?
The cut. Did the cut, Ian?
Did the cut. I'm trying to think now. I'm sure there was a plan. I have been solely focused on Note Fest today. Can I give a plug for that real quick?
Yeah, by all means.
Note Fest is blowing up. Like, the one thing that I struggle with a lot is effectively marketing an event. I've just never really gotten really good at it, and Cody's coming in and blowing that out the water. He landed iHeartRadio as a sponsorship.
Yeah, been hearing him on the radio like crazy.
Man, that was a good deal. And yeah, Note Fest is blowing up. So second week of June 13th through the 15th. There's all kinds of fun stuff. It's going to be the first event on the farm where guests are allowed in the water on the river.
Yo, that's right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember sponsors' names, and I cannot remember that one. But Roanoke something outdoor adventures, water adventures. I am very sorry. Amazing sponsor I've yet to meet, but they're going to be bringing up some tubes, and we're going to be looking at potentially doing some kayak adventures during Note Fest. Let's see, what else did we talk about today? Axe throwing, that's definitely confirmed.
Yeah.
There's a 2-lane axe throwing, and when you say axe throwing, everybody's like, oh, you take a bunch of axes and you throw it at a big log or something, right? So what my cousin's done with Heroes Axe House, they've got cottonwood blocks that are sitting up there, and that's what you're throwing the axes at, and they're really easy to stick into. But it has a projector that can project down on top of the wood, and so like you can play tic-tac-toe and battleship and like the whole time with axes, and it's really cool.
I would love to do that, although I imagine playing a game like tic-tac-toe, I probably wouldn't be too great at it. I had to I meant to hit in the corner, but instead I hit the lawn in front of the log.
Well, that's the beauty of it. That's what makes the tic-tac-toe game more fun, because I didn't mean to mark that. Excuse me.
Oops.
But yeah, I didn't mean to mark that. So that's coming. I know we've got a whole kids zone area. Parkway Brewery's coming down to do the beer garden.
Yeah, beer
so
garden. Okay.
that's going to be a thing. Kind Brew Coffee's coming down. Martin's from Downtown's food truck's going to be there doing their burgers. I know I'm leaving out sponsors left and right, and they're going to kill me. But guess what? I'm doing the best I can. But yeah. So it's going to be a really big event. There's 20 bands coming. The Sex Brews is a band that's coming down, and I hear they throw pancakes at people.
They throw pancakes at people.
Yeah, I'm excited because I like pancakes.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's.
We'll get some gluten-free.
Yeah, we get some gluten.
I'll make sure to put that in there. You
Get
guys
some-
better have some gluten-free
Yeah,
pancakes.
you throw a regular pancake at me, I might be a solid deadly
but
weapon.
you know what's going to happen? They'll do it, and they'll have like 3 or 4 gluten-free pancakes, but they'll throw them on the wrong side of the fucking field. So you got to go running over and eat gluten-free pancakes out the grass.
Yo, yes.
Does
that-
corn have gluten in it?
No.
Oh, so you
Corn-
can have corn cakes.
Yeah, I can have corn cakes. Yeah, I've made
Buckwheat?
I made corn cakes buckwheat does.
Oh,
Yeah, buckwheat, rye, barley,
wheat, obviously.
yeah, wheat. Although there are certain types of wheat that like have like less, the Sigorum or something.
Fuck, you said it wrong, and now I can't think of the right way to say it. Sorghum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. The brown looking.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Only
Only reason I know that's because of Farming Simulator.
Yeah, and
I'm a farmer, and I learned some. farming
unless it's
stuff on Farming
sourdough,
Simulator.
I don't know if there's such thing as sourdough pancakes, but sourdough apparently it has like the enzymes in it that break gluten down that my body lacks. So if I eat sourdough, it like kind of works itself
Dude,
out.
sourdough's good shit.
Yeah, it's hard to find good sourdough.
Make your own.
I mean, they have someone that's got a mother and stuff. I
Well,
want to
just cut
I
off.
want to get one of them old, like sour, tangy mothers. Like I want that tang. Yeah, the tangiest. Yeah, you want to get that from old mothers. Like, yeah. Like only old mothers have the proper tang. Like the young ones.
I'm glad cannabis isn't like that.
Well, I mean, like, it sort of isn't it though? I mean,
Old mothers typically get diseases. and
Oh,
problems
yeah,
and
okay,
die.
yeah. Old mothers in that regard, you're absolutely right. The older mothers are like they're prone to disease. In fact, Kevin Jodry, he put it really well one time that I said the more the longer a plant stays like in a grow space, the more of a home it becomes. Which I mean, it's like, and like I guess in like a shallow sense, like if like any plant that you keep around, like the more it kind of just integrates with your environment. But for the sake of like in the growing space, it also becomes a home for like all kinds of pests, like anything that comes along that it can be a breeding ground for all kinds of like nasty little efforts. I have learned the hard way trying to keep like mothers like too long and then allowing for like cross contamination.
Especially indoors. Indoors is so rough because the longer you keep a plant indoors, the harder it gets to take care of that plant. I feel like, and that's one of the reasons why you flower it out and start over every grow, right?
Yeah.
Or you take a cut off of that one plant and start that clone as the new mom.
No, I mean,
because it's, the older the plant gets, the harder it is.
that's to create like a dedicated space for it.
I mean, if you keep your grow space as a clean room, right? I'm not that diligent. That's why I'm an outdoor guy. But if you keep that thing like pristine, like you have double air seals to make sure that nothing can get in and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, of course, you're creating a sealed environment. Nothing can get in there. It'll be fine. But let's be real about it. People's houses aren't designed with a space inside of it specifically for growing cannabis. We converted a space.
Yeah.
And so getting that to be a clean environment by laboratory standards is nearly impossible.
That is a tall order. It is a very tall order. Unless you're willing to like full on like convert that whole space.
Or build the space from the ground up to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
laboratory clean.
Which I mean, honestly, in the long run, that may be like a worthwhile like notion for some people, especially if they like wanted to grow more things.
Roger said 5-foot mothers are.
Yeah, and like but you know that's like indoor has like their issues. Like although I am outdoor like outdoor runs, they can be pretty resistant to a lot of the problems that the indoor runs have. Like
And vice versa.
You get spider mites and shit. Like outdoors, like honestly, it'll work itself out.
Yeah,
Like,
we
you
don't
have to do
ever.
much.
I've never had a spider mite issue in an outdoor crop.
But like the big thing, I guess are like the smaller pests. You know, like the Pythium, and like the WPM,
And mold.
yeah, that like
Botrytis,
yeah, mold.
worms.
And I feel like that is one issue that that Southwest Virginia, I mean all of Virginia, like but like a lot of outdoor growers have been like dealing with year after year, and like I don't think I've really seen anyone like really perfectly tackle it yet. But I know
We got some. So this year was especially bad for us outdoor guys, and if you were growing outdoors, you had mold this year.
Yeah.
Everybody did, and it was Hurricane Helene really jacked it up. Or maybe it wasn't Helene. It was one of those hurricanes in October, and it really jacked everything up and got everything super wet, and the mold just completely kicked off. And obviously, I had submitted a section of flower into a cannabis cup of one of the samples of one of the plants that we grew, Chiroptera, and it wasn't much, but under a microscope, you were there.
Yeah,
you
I
were
remember
doing
that.
the sample,
Yeah.
and you found the mold in it, and so it's not. If you grew outdoors last year, you had it. Whether you had been growing it for your first season or whether you've been growing it for 30 seasons, you got mold last year. And I reached out to Doc Ray and I said, you know, what's something in the future? I know that you guys have had this problem. How do you fix it? And basically, he told me there's a number of products out there on the market. I can't remember the names of the ones that he said, but they're really expensive, but they totally work. It's basically a plant wash that you do at harvest time. And he said any of these products work, or if you're like me and you don't like to spend a lot of money, you can take 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 to 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide, and a gallon of water. And you make 5 gallons of that solution and you dunk your plant in it. You don't leave it submerged, and you definitely don't use any more hydrogen peroxide than that. But that will kill all of the bacteria, the spores, everything. So when you hang the plant up in the dry room to dry, you shouldn't have to worry about the mold.
Right.
Is it dunk? You
Dunk the whole plant.
Yeah. So you mentioned that as like as a plant wash. I feel like I vaguely remember, or at least like a repeat of that conversation, a recanting, or not recanting, recounting. Yes. Was there also like mention of being like used as like a spray like during flower as well?
You can use it on the plant all the way through flower as a prevention. You can use, not really necessarily a prevention, more of a control. So if you have a problem show up before you're ready to harvest, you can definitely spray it on it. And then Doc said, don't preach this, but he had a friend who had flower that was partially cured, but not completely cured. He said he didn't think it would work if it was completely cured, but they had submitted the flower to a dispensary. The dispensary kicked it back for mold. And they took that same solution and washed the flower, harvested flower through that solution, and submitted it a second time, and it passed. So there is a chance that even after you've harvested, you can still use this stuff to stop a problem. Doc said the lemon juice is part of it.
Mess the lemon juice in what regard?
But it's
Yeah.
citric acid, and that's going to go. The hydrogen peroxide is going to work on the mold spores. The citric acid is going to work on a lot of other things, insect bodies. I would have to actually look this one up. We just went off further than my ken goes.
Yeah, it's it's an interesting thing, like what people like and don't like with regards to like when they find out what's in their smoke. Because it's amazing how many people I hear will they'll bug out when they find out that there's like frass or like insect carcass or stuff like that, like that's like it might be like on the bud or in the bud, and and it's funny, I that's something that's never really bothered me too much. I guess because of the fact that I mean one of those little statistics that they have kind of resting in the back of my head of like how many like spiders we swallow every year while we're sleeping.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Or just like the allowed amount of like insects in our produce that we eat all the time.
You ever eaten a chestnut?
Yeah, right.
You've eaten a worm.
Yeah,
Every chestnut has a worm.
The fact that there's some bug activity or whatever, that there's that carcasses or frass or whatever. I've never personally been too bothered by it, because at the end of the day, once it's getting combusted, it's just carbon.
That's the problem, is the combustion portion of it. Is what I was led to believe. Because of a dispensary out west, one of the ones in California, this was back in the day, I don't know if it's changed or anything, but I know when a grower in the early days submitted their flower to a dispensary, and the dispensary would obviously go through it with a magnifying glass like what we do now.
Yeah.
And if they found a dead spider mite, that dispensary not only would no longer be buying that flower, but they were required by the state to confiscate that entire lot of flower and destroy it. And so that was one of the things that was like, you know what, even if Virginia does get legal, I'm not sure I really want to grow for flower production.
Yeah, that I feel like it's one of those situations where they being overly stringent about something, I mean, because there's certain when people talk about VOCs, and that there are lobbyists out there that have spent a shitload of money to convince us that all VOCs are bad. VOCs are a bad thing.
All right, what's a VOC?
Volatile organic compounds. And a part of what our VOCs would be all those hydrocarbon emissions that the companies are.
All right, that's like a GMO terminology to me. Anybody can use GMO. A cannabis plant, if you have a cannabis plant in your basement right now, it's a GMO. Just to let you know, because somebody took one and bred it with another, and you genetically modified that organism. So that feels like volatile organic compounds to me is one of those all-encompassing terms that could be really bad, could be not bad, could be beneficial.
Yes, exactly. It's one of the things. It contains everything within it. And
clarified with the
oh, what you got?
So he said for the foliar spray, don't let for the don't definitely, but if you're doing a spray.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was curious about. Is how it might be different.
And in that aspect, 100%. The citric acid is for the bugs, and that's going into one of those kind of cure-all things. And if you're looking for just bud rot, absolutely, the hydrogen peroxide's the way to go. But if you're just kind of doing, this could be this could be this, let me just spray it all with something. The citric acid's good, and it's the same reason why we mix in products like Plant Bodyguard into our IPM. Plant Bodyguard has a lot of essential oils and citric acids in it. Grant, you're welcome. Nice little plug there, buddy. Thank you for giving me that jar. And guess what? We'll say this, if you are going to spend the money to put a prevention being something that you apply before you have a problem, in your garden, I can honestly now, after having tried it, fully recommend Plant Bodyguard. They also have a harvest formula that's safe to use up to 2 weeks ahead of time. It's great. It will go into our standard mix of Regalia, Copper, DT, and now Plant Bodyguard
Nice, very nice.
as our total IPM. We're just sprayed all.
No. Yeah, and that's that like with using all of these preventative measures, like knowing like the right time to use them, and like how far can we go with it. Like
And you don't want to leave it too concentrated,
stuff.
right? Like if you over concentrate the hydrogen peroxide and go greater than 3%, it's going to explode trichomes.
Yeah.
And just destroy your shit. So,
and speaking of trichomes,
what you got?
or the derivative, one of the derivative sets. You know, funny. I want you to see this. What I wrote here on the package.
Wow!
I tried
Get
to
lead.
I started writing. He said, "No." He just said it's not spelled "laid" that way. I don't know how baked I was.
You were really high.
When I wrote this,
We were
I said,
obviously smoking some Get Laid hash.
GHED.
Get lead. Get lead. Sorry, lead. He didn't mean it.
Lead.
All right, so get laid, just because this is a very common misconception of the spelling. Everybody wants to spell it L-A-I-D or L. Yeah. It's L-E-I-D, because get laid is a play on words, like the Hawaiian lei, because it's Acapulco gold crossed with blue Hawaiian. And what do we get find in Hawaii but the flower lays, and that's spelled L-E-I. And so get laid, L-E-I-D.
Roger said most of the vegetables in the store, like pinworms, roundworms, or rootworms.
I mean, like, Roger, when you start getting into grain crops, especially anything that's going to get uber processed and chopped up into a powder, like flour and stuff like that, it gets really gross, man. And especially when you start getting into the gluten-free world, because they have straight insect flour now. I'm not lying, man. Where like they have learned how to produce flour from insect bodies.
Oh yeah, no, and
it's indistinguishable, really. I mean, it's really,
people have been eating insects for a very, very long time without realizing.
If you're really fucking hungry,
if you've had anything that was colored red, like and it also wasn't red dye number 40, which we also shouldn't be having, you were absolutely eating bugs, because that red
Sugar
dye
beets.
is only
Sugar
only able to
beets.
get that.
Sugar beets
Sugar beets, is that what the bug's called?
or red beets. No, that's another place where you can get red dye.
No. That red dye looks a very particular way. We're talking about the red dye that everybody loves, that's in everything.
Well,
it's made from a very particular type of like bright red bug, and it's their insides.
If you want to feel even better about it, when was the last time you ate an M&M?
Like literally this week.
Did you know
that it's the red pigment in that?
It's not even about the pigment, because those are dyes. But did you know that
dyes
the
made from
shiny stuff on the outside of the M&M?
Oh, is that shellac from bugs,
which is beetle poop. Shellac comes from the shellac beetle, processed from beetle poop. And when you put the M&M in your mouth, if you don't bite it right away and you suck on it, you'll notice it gets almost like gritty or spiky or stuff like that. That's the saliva in your mouth reacting to beetle poop and having a chemical reaction in your mouth. Tastes wonderful, though.
Haha, yes. Yes.
Rock Farm's been producing some hash. Last time I talked to him on the phone, I heard the hash machine going in the background. Heard the ice.
Okay, so
Ice. Okay, we can talk about hash, right?
Yeah, we absolutely can talk about hash.
I'm not sure if we can talk about the legal processing of hash.
No, hash is one of the few things we can definitely talk about.
Okay.
All right, but are you ready?
I do remember that conversation now. Yes, hash is legal to talk about.
All right.
You should go for. I'm the one that's got the immunity built up to this.
You want me to go first? Yeah, normally I'd have the guest go first for this, but he is insisting, because it is his hash, that I should be the one who goes first.
That way, when Ennis gets sitting here and he stops and he's just sitting there like, I'll still be able to function.
Oh yeah.
But he said he's got another kind of hash that he's throwing into the mix too. or weed. I don't know.
all
You've got
kinds of
two
stuff.
bungs.
All right.
I had coffee. I'll be good.
Now, what is everybody? I want to hear what everyone else is toking on here tonight as we start to rip this get laid hash, y'all.
Yeah, wasn't there like a Miss Kitty or something that Roger had, or something Kitty?
He had a like a Mellow Kitty
Mellow
1,
Kitty,
Mellow
that's what
Kitty
it was.
2.
I think that was one of the kinds of hash that Ben was running this past week.
Okay.
Roger said exposure to germs.
Cheers, you guys.
That's why farm kids have less problems.
Amen, Roger. 100%. It's one of the big, huge issues with urban people producing and raising chickens is because their neighbors can get ungodly sick because chickens carry a whole bunch of viruses. And if you do not live in the country, you will not have a tolerance built up to those. And so there are even some municipalities that will refuse to let people raise chickens for that very reason. It's pretty cool stuff, though. Chickens. Ah, burn, got that one wrong. Which is good news for Tree Man. Tree Man, that means your stuff, my black and yellow. It's all good.
Yeah, this torch definitely isn't strong enough for these ones.
You need to get Matt Pro.
Yeah, so that's the biggest one I got.
You need to get Matt Pro.
This is for like a cold start.
I mean, it's very fancy looking.
Yeah, I think Stash made it. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Are you gonna do it? You want me to?
I think you can manage it. Then snap. Yeah, you want to give it a good press in there.
Did I get it?
Nah.
No, I did not get it. I ran out of air.
Oh.
Oh, yours! You gotta lift yours like way up.
Yeah, that's why you saw me doing that with yours. Like that's why I'm doing it like that because you got to pull it way up. It's
So
like,
that
designed
like when I
differently.
smoke Get Laid at home, it has that straight buttered popcorn taste that nobody else can taste, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like the only person that tastes that. But that time I could kind of get the buttery popcorn taste, but it was way more bell pepper.
Yeah,
Like there was a real heavy bell pepper mixed in with it. I think it was just because of the low temp, and I was just getting like that one part of it. I should have brought the black and yellow hash too.
Oh yeah, that would have been. I thought about that, but I mean, this was very impromptu. This is. Yeah.
And then if we were doing a hash sesh, we should remember Harambe since we won the awards. But then neither one of us would be able to talk.
Yeah.
It'd be a shit. That's how you end the podcast. Podcast's been going along too long. Here, let's remember Harambe. Of course, that's when you get up and walk out of the room and forget you're in the middle of a podcast. You just leave it running.
I don't think I've done that yet. I think we. Oh snap! Because I keep my actual hash like clean. We went through all the hash in there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of figuring.
Yeah. Funny. Very, very funny. Yeah, we definitely should keep that going though. So we'll put a little more Get Laid in there.
My head's like, it's sitting right up here right now.
Yeah. Yes, this might be your hash, but I have home field advantage. Ha ha ha.
Roger says he still has a little sparkle face.
Yeah, I hear rumors.
Sparkle face.
And I've watched people not function after Sparkle Face.
Yeah, that's Sparkle Face is a mofo.
Maybe Sparkle Face isn't a pot.
No, it totally could be. It totally could be.
Again, end of podcast.
Rock Farm says we'll bring you a hash bowl for that bone. It's an 18. Use it without the adapter.
Really?
Oh, so it goes into this piece without the top
Into the
piece.
okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, except I don't have a lot of elbow room, and that was what.
Yeah. We're in a galley studio, folks.
Don't tell them that. They can't tell that from the way it's all set up. We have lots of space. I can get. Oh, wow! That was a really good thing. That there were no open flames when that shit just happened.
Why the heck is it like that?
I don't know, but that just like shot in your face, dude.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Hold up, that's not.
You should not smoke a cigarette right now.
Yeah, that was not the correct one. Clearly, I thought it was. But I was wrong.
Yeah, big time.
Hey, did we get that? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, let's.
It looks like yes.
All right, that has like a weird like slit in it.
You can go back and edit that later and do it in slow mo.
Your face is
Yeah, I didn't want to happen again. Yeah, I was very nervous. Hell, I'm kind of nervous right now. Like, should I like this? Like, are we gonna like explode like right now?
No, you're good.
Burn out.
It's
I'm gonna be so mad.
it's vaporized off
Yeah,
by
you're-
now.
Ah, see, you did a weird thing.
Yeah, Rock Farm just said you shouldn't have used it.
No, no, that like that one like it does. It's like a funny shape.
Oh, I thought he was still talking.
Oh yeah, no, the butane.
Oh yeah, no. He was talking about the piece. He's talking about yeah.
Oh.
And he's right. I shouldn't. But no, I honestly I kind of like the adapter currently because it props it up at a really good height.
I mean, you can definitely see what you're doing. It's like right at eye level.
I mean, the one that he has probably looks like that too. So it wouldn't change the aesthetic too much.
That was punny, Sam.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you should have a microphone because like everybody else should be able to benefit the same way that we do from your commentary. We don't have to see your face. That's fine.
So he's saying the hash piece he's talking about.
You like the bottom. Yeah, that's not bad. Good work. Honestly, I wonder if that piece would work. I know it wouldn't work better, but I don't know, it might work better. If you put it on like an angled bong instead of a straight up and down bong.
No, maybe.
Ooh, or that piece
Or-
where it's just like kind of kinked, right? And that piece is heavy enough to hold it. Well, no, that's a little high.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
That's
No,
a-
you would be poking yourself in the eye.
I was talking about without the ash catcher, but
Oh,
just
but it's
as
an
like
eight-
the angle
But
part.
it's an
of it.
8. Yeah, it's an 18 though.
But isn't that?
No, that's a 14.
And this is the 8.
Yeah, that's 8.
Right, but so it would just stick out longer, but it wouldn't be sticking like coming back in like
Oh.
it is on the ash catcher. Like just take the ash catcher off and just use the bong part of it.
Oh, bet. Yeah, we could totally do that. Wait, should we do that?
Yeah.
I was just sitting here looking at your pieces, and this one's totally angled too much, but that one is like pulls it right off your face. I don't know. It's a hell of a bong, man. But that's a motherfucker to clean. Sorry, I was sitting
no, it doesn't have any water in it. But
He was just checking to see functionality.
It'd be hard. Honestly,
Yeah,
it'd be a little.
it's coming up right next to your forehead too.
No, this is workable. The other way, it would have been like.
Oh yeah. With the ash catcher, it would not.
But you know, honestly, low key, this like.
Rob says I like that bone.
Yeah, this might be legit as fuck. I think we need to try this. All right, hold up.
The bong's slightly intimidating.
Yeah. I should have a.
Oh, Sam, you were on the camera. We saw you. Actually, no, we didn't. We're on. We're on the one camera angle.
Behind the curtain.
It's all good. We're on the one camera angle where they can't see you.
Thank you, baby. Okay, yeah, we're gonna make this happen.
Like Miss Oz back here.
All right.
So I could tell you the fish joke while Ennis is doing this. It's a little lengthy, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
So there's this fly flying around in the woods, right? And he's zipping around. It's a nice day. He sees this little stream and he stops and he hovers about a foot off the surface of the stream, right? And he's just hovering there. But what the fly doesn't realize is down in the water is this fish. And the fish is taking a look at this fly. And he's like, man, if that fly would drop down about 6 inches, I could jump up out of the water and eat that fly and that'd be my dinner. What the fish doesn't realize is standing up on the bank a little ways is grizzly bear. And he sees that fly and the fish having this little thought process going down. And he's thinking to himself, man, if that fly would drop down about 6 inches, that fish would jump up out of the water and I could run out and snatch up that fish and that'd be my dinner. Sam, have you heard this before? Okay. And so from me. So you see you're getting it for a second time. It's good times. So what the grizzly bear doesn't realize is back up on the hill a little ways is this hunter. And the hunter, my man, was a sniper in Vietnam, and so he's been watching the whole situation going down through the scope, and he sees this fly, and he's like, man, if that fly would drop down about 6 inches, that fish would jump up and eat the fly. The bear would run out, snatch up the fish. I could take a shot at that bear, and that'd be my dinner. What the hunter doesn't realize is underneath the rock that he's standing on is this little field mouse.
Yeah.
And that field mouse was eyeing the peanut butter and jelly sandwich the hunter packed in case he didn't kill anything. And the field mouse has some amazing eyesight. And from underneath the rock that he's sitting on, he sees the whole thing going down. And he's thinking to himself, man, if that fly would drop down about 6 inches, that fish would jump up out of the water and eat the fly, and the bear would run out and snatch up the fish. The hunter would shoot the bear, and in his excitement would drop the peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of his pocket. I could run out from underneath the rock and eat it, and that'd be my dinner. Well, what the mouse doesn't realize is standing up on the hill a little ways more is the tomcat. And this tomcat's been trying to get at the mouse, but he can't because he's under a rock. And the tomcat has blessed with the greatest eyesight of all of them. And he's sitting there thinking to himself, man, if that fly would drop down about 6 inches, that fish would jump up and grab that fly, and the bear would run out and snatch up the fish. The hunter would shoot the bear. And in his excitement, he dropped the peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of his back pocket. And the mouse would run out from underneath the rock, start eating that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I could jump on the mouse, and that'd be my dinner. Well, wouldn't you know it that the good Lord looks out for all of his creations? So a couple minutes later, that fly dropped down about 6 inches. That fish jumped up out of the water. The bear ran out, snatched up the fish. Hunter took a quick shot at the bear, bam, shot it dead, and jumped up. And in his excitement, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich fell out of his pocket. The mouse ran out from underneath the rock he was sitting on. But I hate cats. So when the cat jumped at the mouse, he slipped and fell in the river and didn't get to eat anything. You know what the moral of the story is, Sam? Every time a fly drops 6 inches, the pussy gets wet. Was that inappropriate to tell on your podcast?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Too late now.
But what I do know is that the piece is finally ready.
And that's probably the fastest I've ever told that joke. So, I mean, we did good.
All right, now we're going to find out how great of an idea this is. Oh, wait a minute. I hit it the last time. This is your hit. So, actually,
I think I killed Sam. Okay.
All right, you want me to do it for you? You want to do
I
it?
can do it.
All right.
I saw what I was doing wrong the first time.
All right, you ready, good sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Yeah, yeah, let's go.
Oh, that's clean.
Yeah, the hash
That's
bong. I am loving this. I'm so excited.
I would change one thing in the future.
What's that?
You get Andy to give you a thicker rod that stays hotter longer a little bit.
Yeah.
That retains the heat a little bit more. Because the airspace in that bong is so much, like literally you gotta like 2 or 3 hit that motherfucker to get a good all the way full.
Yeah, I've noticed
and
that
so you're
too.
gonna need the rod to stay. I gotta stop fucking with that. You gotta let the rod stay warmer longer a little bit. But other than that, man, I like I definitely got the hit.
I think there's a point where this isn't going to get much hotter. I just don't know what that point is. It looks cool though.
It's hard every time you do it. It looks like it's bending it. You notice that? Like when you're heating the rod up, if you think that it's like, oh my god, am I heating it up to the point where it's going to bend?
It probably is a little bit.
No, it's really not. It's an optical illusion because I look at it after it cools off every time it's not bent. Unless you're Ben. He bent one.
The light is bending.
Yeah, Ben bent his.
Ben bent his.
Oh.
But it was a little thin guy. And that's weird. Yours, like mine, I don't have to pull up near that far in order to let the oxygen mix down in there. I wonder what's different about mine. Because those are the only 2 pieces of that style that I've seen that Andy made. But I wonder what it is that I only have to pull mine up like 1/3 of the way, and you've got to pull yours up like 3/4 of the way. Too cold. Eat the rod up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't you have a short of 14, 18? No.
Nah. But yeah, I got that one. Yeah, you did good. You did good.
I like the bone.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. Yeah, definitely got too cold there. Because that little flame you guys saw just jump off that was 100% just like
Caked on hash.
Yeah, burning off hash.
Yeah. Get laid is the hash is really bad about that too because it's so like kinetic sand texture. That if when you just tap the rod down in there and don't push real hard, it like sticks to the rod. What, you getting hot? You catching the contact?
Yeah, it's just that you get hot. And
Oh.
No.
I thought you said we're hot boxing them.
That's funny because we're supposed to. That door was supposed to be shut this whole time. For the background.
Oh.
It's the entrance on the air hole.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah,
That could
they're
be-
like
that definitely
when
could be.
I'm cleaning this piece and the water's running through it, it'll create a full little cyclone all the way down to the bottom.
And Roger said you need a bigger picture.
It's not the size. Size doesn't matter. It's the strength of the load.
Oh dear. That's a loaded.
Just creates a lot of innuendo.
Yeah, okay.
There
so-
you go. That was a good hit.
Yeah, it's very, very good. In fact, I'm going to yeah. Is that oh, looks like there's a little more in there. It may be
Yeah,
done.
let's see. I think it was good. Nope.
No, it looks done, Ski.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Check this out. Look down through the top.
Ha, yeah.
Done.
Yeah. You guys want to check this out? Yeah,
Can they do that?
yeah.
Can they see that?
Um
It's really
Yeah,
easy
yeah,
to tell.
Yeah, right there. Okay.
No. It's
Oh.
real easy to tell because
Oh.
there you go. You
Yeah,
can
you see that hole?
see the hole in the bottom.
Yeah. If we still had hash in there, then you would not see that little pinhole in the bottom. That is the glass they were seeing through. So very awesome, very 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 awesome. And that was all that get laid hash.
I got more.
Yeah, yeah. So but that's okay though. I also have some other hash because I already knew that the get laid hash wasn't going to impact him that much. I don't have it. I didn't bring it in here with me though. Oh boy, I think we're getting our tech a little bakey, wakey bakey, stony baloney.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on the what?
We're almost at the hour point.
Oh, wow! Really?
We'll put this
That
here.
goes fucking. Now wait a sec. Does that count in like that whole gap at the beginning where it was just music before we started talking?
That's like 5 minutes.
It was a lot longer than 5 minutes.
Like 7, 8.
You two of your cameras must. Okay, that's. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got 15 more minutes.
Then we gotta
At
make
most.
sure that we make the most of it. So we were just doing the get laid hash, right? Now we should like see like how that flavor and effect
Goes into the
like,
flour.
yeah, it kind of comes across in the flour here.
Okay. So while you're doing that, do you want me to bring up topic 2?
Yeah.
Which is the study that just came out where they here's the thing, man. You told me about this and I didn't have a whole lot of time to process it before we got here. So now that I've processed it a little bit more, I am getting sick and tired of studies that come out and claim that, hey, marijuana helps relieve PTSD symptoms.
Yeah.
How many fucking studies do we need that say this before people are like, oh my god, marijuana helps with PTSD symptoms? like
Yeah.
how many? How many you need?
Like basically a mountain apparently.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling that like we have to like it's like the whole peer review process. Like you say that and someone's going to be like, oh yeah, I bet it's not true. I'm going to like do the same study and prove that it's not true.
Okay, well, how
And
many
then-
times, like after the 28th peer review,
Yeah.
can we finally come to the conclusion that this works? Or you listen to any PTSD sufferer that's like, oh, I smoked weed and then I got to sleep that night? Fucking, I mean,
It's
sorry.
no.
Little venting right there.
No, I mean, like a vent away. I mean, because what it sounds to me is that I mean, part of like what I was hoping we talk about tonight is that like it seems that it's very obvious to you how cannabis like helps with PTSD. So you have experienced PTSD yourself.
Yep. I've got 2 main points from my military career, one from each deployment. The one from Afghanistan, when we were over there, I had gotten taken out of my line unit and got put into a headquarters unit before we deployed. And when we got deployed to Afghanistan, my line unit, one of the guys in one of the other platoons, they were going out on a patrol with some Afghani police and Afghani military. And one of the police officers that was on the patrol with them just decided he was going to snap that day and turned around and started shooting at people and hit 3 different people and killed one of the American soldiers, Hassan Fluke.
Wow.
And we weren't like good friends. I didn't go to his house and barbecue on the weekends with him or anything, but you know, he was in our troop and everybody knew everybody. We trained together and stuff like that. So I definitely knew the guy well enough to know that every morning you wouldn't catch him without a Mountain Dew and a Marlboro Red in his mouth. But he died, and when we were in the country, you know, it's sad, but you've come to accept that not everybody's coming home, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of it. And so it really didn't hit you that hard. I didn't think about anything. It really didn't hit me that bad. And then we got home, and because of the way that I came home from that combat zone, I didn't come home with the headquarters company. I came home with my line unit. with 161. And so when we were getting off the plane, I was getting off the plane with my line unit friends. And I remember getting off the plane. I was definitely not counting them, but there were 24 stairs off the plane. And at the bottom of the plane, the sergeant major was already back, and the colonel's wife was standing there because the colonel hadn't gotten back yet. And they were all shaking everybody's hand, and they're getting off the plane. Thanks, for your sacrifice. Da 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 da. And I remember shaking her hand and turning and taking 2 steps, looking at the ground and being like, I am on American soil again, and I'm not leaving this time. And I looked up, and Hassan Flu's wife and his 3 girls were standing there. And I remember I hadn't gotten married. I didn't have a kid at that point. And in that moment, I felt like the biggest piece of shit for walking off that airplane. Your mic's blinking. It's supposed to be blinking.
Yeah.
Okay. I that night, like, I went to sleep, and it was like as soon as I would fall asleep, I would start dreaming about the look on their faces when I was getting off of that airplane, knowing that they were standing there waiting for somebody that wasn't going to get off the airplane. And that I couldn't sleep for more than 30 minutes at a time before that dream would kick on, and I'd wake up every time. And it got, after 5 or 6 days of only getting 30 minutes of sleep at a time, that sucks. And so a couple of my friends had come up to visit while we were going through the reintegration process. And we were all off post coming back from eating at a restaurant. I can't remember which one now. And one of them looked over at me, and I was talking about not being able to sleep. He's like, why don't you hit this joint? And I was like, I can't hit the joint. I'm in the Army. They'll give me a drug test. And they'd be like, dude, you're getting out. What are they going to do? Kick you out quicker? I was like, that's a really good point. So yeah, I hit the joint, and I went home, and I fucking slept. And I learned real quick, if I have THC in my system, I don't dream. Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. I don't dream at all. I just go to sleep and I wake up. And yeah, that was awesome. And then, you're like, well, it could be just a placebo effect or something like that. Well, years later, my entire criminal record revolves around marijuana shit. So anytime I would get in trouble, I would have to go through a period of time where I couldn't smoke because I'd be on probation or having to take pre-trial drug test, whatever it was. And I would have to stop smoking. And guess what happens when I stop smoking?
Yeah,
I stop sleeping.
Yeah, that sounds like something that would fall underneath the umbrella of cruel and unusual punishment. Like what? Like
and I try to explain this to the judges, and they're just like, "Well, that's just not how it's going to work, is it?" And I got the worst part of it. The most recent conviction, the felony one, where I was on probation for 2 years and having to take drug tests through that whole 2-year time frame. I had a medical card. I had a medical card, cannabis card, saying that I was legally allowed to smoke weed, and my probation officer sitting there telling me if I smoke weed, I'm going back to jail. And I was like, well, but I can't sleep. And her response, there's a lot of drugs out there that can make you sleep besides weed.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. No, at that point.
Wow.
Let's
just hook you on all the bits.
It was, yeah. So,
despicable.
Yeah, I mean that whole story in and of itself sucks. But what are you gonna do?
The main problem is if they legalize marijuana federally, it'll change like thousands of other laws. If they endorse it medically, it'll take billions from big pharma.
Yeah, it's all about money.
Yeah,
Roger, I totally get it, man. And it is 100% about money. There's 4 things that are standing in the way of federal legalization. Obviously, number 1 at the top of the list is big pharma. Number 2 is paper. Paper is still heavily against it, although they don't have quite the voice they used to. Number 3 is privatized prison industry. 100% does not want marijuana because they lose like 30, 40, 50% of their prison population.
Easy.
And then the last one, alcohol. You think Budweiser's spending a lot in Super Bowl ads? You should see what they're spending in anti-cannabis lobbying.
No. Yeah. While simultaneously trying to like buy into cannabis. Isn't actually no, Anheuser-Busch, they have been kind of slow moving. I heard they had like a cannabis drink that they were trying to make.
Ain't none of them going to touch it until it's federal.
Constellation brands though, they're like Modelo, Dos Equis, Corona.
I can't believe Corona wouldn't get on it.
Yeah, no, that's Constellation.
Yeah, Corona would totally be a good fit.
Yeah, they're working with
although Corona tastes like skunk piss.
Not Tilray.
God, awful. I don't like beer.
Well, yeah, it's funny. It's like, you know what I was about to say? I was going to say, like, yeah, well, that's because you got to put, like, a lime and stuff in it. And I'm just like, yeah, but how bad is the beer got to be if you by default have to do something to it? Which is just so funny because I am someone who'll drink Corona. I love putting lime in Corona and, like, drinking on, like, a hot day. Like, I mean, well, at least back when I did drink beer. Can't now, but, but yeah, like, I remember when Bud Light did the whole, like, when they first came out of the Twisted Lime.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're talking. The problem is that goes into early days of drinking for me, which it also involves Mad Dog 2020. And Cisco.
Mad Dog,
Cisco,
boy.
Big old orange drink.
Yeah. See, we're on the same page. We're on the same page for that. We're on the same page for that.
Really, really hot day. First half.
Yeah, it's gotta be cold. Ooh, could you imagine? Oh, like a warm.
Any beer warm is disgusting.
No, you can drink. You can have some beer beer is tepid.
All right, how about this?
Like Smittix. Guinness.
You want to know what my favorite beer is?
I mean, but basically a lot of the UK beers.
You want to know what my favorite beer is? Coors Light.
Yeah.
You want to know what my second favorite beer is? Natty Light.
You cannot.
All the beer feed people out there are like, oh my god, I can't believe you say that. Why? Because I don't like beer.
You cannot.
That's the least beer tasting beer.
You cannot drink Coors Light. Anything but damn cold. That's why they have the indicator on the can, because they're like, if these mountains ain't bright blue, don't even try it. Like this is a warning.
And the frost brew keeps it colder.
This is to let you know. This is like, and that's the way they spun the whole thing, right? This is the way they spun the whole thing. It's like, oh yeah, like when the mountains are frosty, like that means like it's ready. Oh. Like no, when actuality it came out as like a little indicator to let you know.
Yep. We're smoking. We're getting on it. We're getting long-winded again. We started late, and I'm trying to get back before my kid goes to bed.
Yes. Yeah. Almost bedtime. Yeah.
This piece is nice. Piece is nice.
Yeah, it is. Oh no, that's
it's all me. I gotta take the whole thing.
Yeah. But the flavor on it, it's pretty surprising. I got some of that bell pepper that I had noticed in the hash, like in the flour, which is funny because I don't feel like I really noticed it smoking the flour before.
Yeah, like what you were saying. I'm not going to say specifically the bell pepper, but the popcorn. I've tasted it more. No. The front side of it, I tasted more of that smoking this time than I do even because I smoked it late earlier today.
Yeah.
The back side of it, just now, for the first time, I've smoked the flower and I tasted the smell.
Oh yeah. That creamy citrusy back. Yeah. That's
which was my only complaint with this whole strain was that the smell and the taste don't link up. They're both amazing in of their own right. But like sometimes you smoke that weed and it tastes just like that smell that came out the bag. That's not get laid for me.
Yeah, well,
except for this bong. This bong is a little different.
Yeah, that piece I really, really like. It's really great for flavors. Now also this This nug that I pulled out to get laid was like probably the largest bud that I've seen in all of the get laid. Like it was like the size of my thumb, almost.
So when Ben was trimming it, he cut most of it all down.
Yeah, no, I'm just, but like, I mean, but not as far as being like a whole intact. Like a, well, actually,
Oh no, I have to let you look at the whole bag. But
Roger said, going back to the album,
what you got?
he prefer Pats.
Paps.
PBR.
Red Eye.
Paps. All right, so Paps. I got a fun story about Paps in Nashville, and I don't know if it's still there. But we Fort Campbell, where I was stationed for 5 years, because we're still talking PTSD, so I'm bringing it all the way back right there. Fort Campbell is 45 minutes north of Nashville, so every other weekend or so we would go down to Nashville and party it up. And on Broadway, you hear Big and Rich talk about Broadway. Broadway is a road in Nashville. It's big, and on Broadway there was a bar called Richard's. And Richard's was a normal bar, and you could go in and you could have any drink you want. Mixed drink, shots, whatever you want.
Nice.
But you were fucking wrong if you did not also have a Pabst PBR in a can. Now, there were people that did not drink PBR that would drink like Miller Lite or Coors Light or something like that, and they would double fist it, PBR and Miller Lite, because people would ridicule the F out of you if you did not have a PBR.
Oh, because they were trying to get the PBR award.
I don't even know what it is. If that's a thing, then 100%
So
that's what it
right.
was.
So
But-
bars for a long time. I don't know if they still do it because I heard COVID kind of killed this.
Mhm. This is a long time.
But PBR has this like running competition between all of the bars. And I think it's all. It might include beer distributors too, but something tells me that it doesn't. But like basically like whoever had like the most like sales of like PBR whatever, almost in the same way of like a fucking elementary school like sale competition or whatever. They would send like a plaque. Like and like a bunch of swag.
No,
too.
man, this totally makes sense.
Like to the bar that they would be able to like post up and brag that and they did it for every the top like 25 or whatever ones in the country. And
They had to be on it.
and they do
They
like
had to
different
be
ones
on
or
it.
whatever. But
There was
like
so
I've had
much
bars tell
people-
me about this whole thing, and they had their plaque up. They're like, we're number 15 in the country. Oh yeah, for PBR.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
it was all in cans, and it was everybody in the bar, and it was it was almost where you would walk in and you would think that is the precursor as you walked in the bar, somebody was handing you a can of PBR for free. Here's the first one's on the house. Here you go, just so that you got it in your hand.
Yeah.
But nah, they didn't do that. But like straight up, you got in there and you had a little bit of time to order, and if that first order didn't include PBRs for everybody, you were wrong. And Nashville's not a town where you won't be wrong.
Yeah. No.
Them country people ain't.
No,
Normal.
they what did they say? They ain't playing with you. They ain't playing with you, man.
That's not what they say. They say, "This is my town. These are my roads. If y'all don't like it, y'all can kick rocks." That's what it sounds like.
I feel like there's gonna be some Tennessee folks coming for both of us.
No, they're standing there. They're like, "Fuck yeah, that's what it's like."
I'm like, that's not necessarily Tennessee.
Yeah, it's country music,
It's just.
and I mean they write songs about it.
Yeah.
What was the Dirt Road anthem in that one? What's the one that dude got in all that trouble for? Small town something or other.
Oh, not like try that in a small.
That one.
That's
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but then
Country music.
that was the funny thing is it was real big for a little bit.
Which is actually, if you think about
And
it,
then-
if somebody came and tried to start some shit in Salem, that town would fuck them up, right? Like they would not be able to function. I've watched that town fuck people up. You can't fight this one on me. I'm from Salem. I know what it's like. And I've been there and I've been like,
But I've
"Damn, they shouldn't have done that."
also been downtown Salem, like on like the weekends, and I've
Yeah, that's accepting
and I-
Salem. Try moving there and living
no,
there.
no. I'm like just
And it's not near as bad as it used to be. Like my
Like-
mom went to William Fleming. My dad went to Salem and Glenver.
like
And so my dad and his grandfather lived on Main Street. So like he's Salem and was accepted as Salem. My mother, when he married my mother and she started going down on the market, got shunned until they got married
Oh my gosh.
because she was from Roanoke. Like it used to be really bad. Like the amusement park in Salem started off as a pool, and black people could only go on Tuesdays. And the racial thing over the years has gone down quite a bit. However, like if you don't live in Salem and you go to Salem and you start some shit, it's twice as bad as if you live there. And it's thankfully it is no longer racially biased, but it is very what do you call that? Geographically biased. Very geographically biased.
well, I guess that like the question would be like, what do you mean by like start shit? Because like I said with like the Salem nightlife, like I see people literally like the same level of degen people starting shit and having fights in the bars and in parking lots.
So like
As I see in like in any
and
bars
down,
anywhere.
again, that this has changed quite a bit over the years, to some degree. But like, if you had just moved to Salem, okay, and you were now living there, and you needed a building permit, just simple thing, right? It's going to be a lot harder for you to get it than it would be for me to get one. A lot harder. You're going to have to check all of the boxes. I'm going to have to make a call to Jerry. and he's going to be like, fuck, here you go. Give me some corn. And it's always been like that. And the cool part about it is once you get in there, like if you and Sam were to move to Salem and you live there, your kids are golden. Like your kids will always be accepted. You'll always have this kind of like, yeah, it's a little bit harder than it should be, but your kids will be golden. Mhm. It's one of the reasons why I wasn't real upset when Landon didn't get to go to Glenver and he got to go to Salem. Just because, then you're Salemite, and yeah, everybody else will hate you, but you'll be accepted very well in Salem. It's one of the reasons why kids in Glenver, we make a very big distinguish that we're from Salem, but we went to Glenver. I didn't go to Salem, because those kids are dickheads. If you were in 2001, yeah, I'm talking to you. Class of 2001 from Salem, you know what I'm talking about. We should stop the podcast.
Seriously, I do a little too much shit talking.
that went way too far.
Yes, and with that, we'll go ahead and like wrap things up. But yeah, it was awesome having you on. It was a very awesome hash sesh.
It was. Get laid got me all kinds of
yeah.
diarrhea of the mouth. Fuck live TV. Fuck not being able to go back and make a blooper reel and edit this one.
Oh God, that's what people love though. Yeah, guys, this is raw.
This is going to be the one that goes viral. Me talking shit about Salem.
Oh
my God, I'm not actually. It's exclusive. It's like that club.
That's okay.
It's like a fraternity. Like if you're not in the fraternity, nobody likes the fraternity, right? But if you're in the fraternity, it's the best thing in the fucking world.
No, I mean, like we were generally pretty well liked everywhere, like Skulls. Yeah.
Roger said Borat at the rodeo in Salem was wild.
Oh, Borat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rodeo scene in Borat was filmed at the Salem Civic Center.
Oh,
All right, no. If you don't know the story about this, like he didn't tell anybody who he was, that they were filming a movie, nothing. He just said, hey, I would like to come in. I'm a singer. I'm on the national level. Here's my accreditations. I'd like to sing the national anthem. And so he gets up there and he does that scene. Nobody knows what's coming. In Salem, home dude lost his fucking job over it. The guy at the Civic Center that let him do it lost his job because he let that happen.
Oh, buddy.
Straight up, and that was the one part you can, if you ever go back and watch the commentaries on top of the movie, they talk about that was like one of the few times during the movie where they legit thought somebody was getting hurt. Like straight up thought they were going to have a hard time getting out.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. I heard about that, but I forgot about that.
And it's funny, and I get
what
what he's
year.
making
What
fun
year
of.
was that?
It was back. It was not in a good time for him to have done that. But yeah,
No, was it like?
it's funny as shit. But God,
I'm trying to remember when that movie came out.
It's slightly fucked up, right?
Was it like was that post 2010 or pre 2010?
When did Borat come out?
In the United States of America.
2006.
Oh, so that
I was in Iraq.
so that was like around the time. Yeah,
That's
that was
why.
like right around the time that I was like graduating high school. Huh. Yeah. So no, I definitely would have not had any sort of chance.
All right,
to
so we
see
need to
that
wrap
now.
up the podcast because it's going really long.
All right, but yes.
And if that hour went by and it was only that was an hour, then we've probably gone like 4 hours by now.
No, we're probably just probably an hour and a half.
What? 6 hours. Let's go.
So, but yes.
This ain't the marathon podcast. We'll do that next time.
Guys, make sure to tune in next week. We'll be having Arliss Webb of White Lightning Seeds on to talk about all kinds of cool stuff, including some of his upcoming seed projects.
Oh, I got to do my question.
Yes. Before we go,
I'm not supposed to know that I'm giving the question to Arliss, but the good news is I already wrote the question down, so I'm not going to change it.
Yes.
Before I knew who was coming on.
Yeah. So he. So yes. That's right. That's right. Damn, this colleague got me.
You screwed this all up. All right. So what was going to happen? Is
No.
No. We're going to do it.
Yes.
Well, give me the book.
Yeah. No. That's okay. We'll just I'll get the question from you. After the fact, because I don't know where the book is right now.
You want me to text it to you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Fast text.
Well, I actually texted it to him like an hour ago, so we're good. Right before I came over here.
But yes, yeah, so I'm Alchemist Gangier, guys. Make sure to be making time for yourselves. Show yourselves love every day. Thank you guys for sticking out the podcast. I again thank you, Ian, for coming on. Yes, we'll catch you guys next week. So much love. Peace.
Nice. Why would I want them not to hear me? This is like the after credits scenes in Marvel movies. Can they still hear me? So, hey guys. April 26th. It's Saturday. Last Saturday in April. Come out. This is the only time I'm going to say this before I make the Facebook post. But the first 100 people there get free plants. And the whole event's free anyways. You don't have to pay to get in. So come out and see us.